Alright, Shalom. Shalom. This is your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Akrakadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Alright, in today's lesson, we're going to go into feeding the sheep, alright? But, you know, not just, feed the sheep, but feed the sheep right. Alright, because it's very important, you know, when, here's an example, alright? When you make your food at home, you know, or when you make a steak, or when you make chicken, all right, are you gonna give it to, you know, one of your your buddies or one of your family members? You know, are you gonna give it to them raw? I mean, you know, uncooked. You know, see, are you only gonna cook it, you know, halfway and then give it to them and say, here, you know, and then your family member says, hey, did you feed them? Like, yeah, I fed them, but like, hey, it was only halfway cooked. See? Is that cool or what? See, so this is why it's important too when you bring it out. Just, you know, make sure that, hey, you know you just bring it out right. You know, take your time. Just make sure that everything is on point. You know, because the sheep are listening. You know, and remember, there's the young sheep that are just coming into the fold, you know, and they don't just know it off bat, you know. So sometimes, you know, you gotta, kind of slow it down a little bit out there, and for those of you teaching the word, and don't forget about the young ones, you know, don't forget about the little ones, you know, because for those who've been in it for a while, yeah, you know, it's just, it's reputation, you breeze through it, right? But remember the young ones, you know, sometimes they kind of get a little confused, like, hey, wait a minute, what was that? What did you say? You know, so it's just remember, feed the sheep, but feed them right, you know. Oh, absolutely. And so that's what we're gonna go into today, you know, just feed the sheep, you know. And remember, they're really listening, you know, they're really listening. They need to hear this word, you know. Like, imagine when like you're home, you know, and you're waiting for a home cooked meal, and somebody cooks you chicken. You know, chicken, you can get sick of raw chicken. Imagine somebody cooks you a rotisserie and they only cook it halfway. Can you eat that? Okay. All right. Same thing with the word, you know. When you bring it out, bring it out right, you know. That way, the sheep can really, eat. They can really, understand. You see? Okay. Saint John. Let me see here. All right, there we go. Saint John chapter 21, verse 15, down to the 17th verse. So when they had dined, Yahweh Shai said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? And he said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, feed my lambs. Alright, because it's very important that you feed the sheep, but feed them right. Alright, so yeah, some of you out there, you teachers are doing a beautiful job out there, you know, but just remember, don't forget about the young ones, you know, because sometimes, brothers kind of breeze through it, but they kind of go a little too fast. It's like, hey, make sure, the young ones can understand it too, you know, because not everybody's on that level, you know. So that's just one of the main points, you know, I just wanted to touch base on, you know. just feed the sheep, but feed them right. You know, you see, and this is why the Lord is telling Peter, feed my sheep, because here's another example. Okay, why is it so important to feed the sheep? Okay, well, let's say you had some animals at your house, right? Okay, all right, but let's say whatever you go through, like whatever you have to go through in your life, let's say you have to go through, you have to, let's say, you have some, like, you have some cows at home, some horses at home, a few animals here and there, okay. Let's say you have a hard day at work, let's say you lost your job. Let's say you you got in a car accident. Yeah, but did you feed did you feed your did you feed the flock? Let's say you have some sheep right there at your house. Did you feed them? You see? All right. So this is something that you have to really really understand, because it doesn't matter what you go through. All right. Let's say you went through so much. You went through so much trouble. Okay. And now, you forgot to feed your animals because, like, oh man, I had to fix my tire. I had to do this. I had to do that. And then you're like, you know what? I didn't feed my animals today. Like, damn, I forgot to feed them, because you went home and you just complained to your wife about this and that. And it's like, yo, did you feed your animal? Did you feed the sheep? See? And are the animals gonna are your sheep? Like, let's say if you have animals at home, a pet, whatever, they don't care what you went through. They want to say, hey, where's my food at? See? So same thing. So it doesn't matter what you go through. You have to you gotta feed the sheep. It's a must. You must feed the sheep. You see? All right, it's a must. So this is why no matter what you go through, you gotta feed the sheep. Okay, you gotta feed the sheep. Very, very important. Okay, because once again, it doesn't matter what you go through. Let's say you go home. You went through a big experience. Hey, that's a spirit. Look at, there's horses in the background. Let's say, okay, that you had a hard day and you went home and complained to your wife, and then you forgot to feed the sheep. You forgot to feed your flock. Because you're like, oh man, I had a hard day at work. I came home and I complained to my wife about this and that, and then you went to sleep. You're like, damn, you know what? I forgot to feed my flock. Same thing. It's just like that. It don't matter what you go through out there. Okay, feed the sheep, because it's very important. Don't matter what you go through. You think your horses, your cows that you have at your house, okay, those of you that do have animals, you think they care about that? You think they care that you think they care that what you went through? No, they're waiting for their food. So same thing. All right. This is why it's very important to keep pushing this word, because not only that, but you feed, you comfort them. Okay, because it's not just, okay, I fed them once, that's it. No, there's maintenance. All right, those of you guys that have animals at home, this is just using it as a reference, an example. Okay, you have to maintain it. You got to maintain. It's not just, oh, I fed it once, all right, that's it, I'm done. No, you got to maintain that. See, to maintain is very, it takes a lot of work, to maintain. You see, all right, it takes a lot of work, to keep up with that, keep it clean, pick up after them. See, so not only is it important to feed the sheep, but because you comfort one another. Okay, that's why the scripture says, comfort one another with these words. And I'll bring that out after this, Lord willing. Okay, it's very, very important. Okay, it's very, very important because you comfort one another. You you what is it? You we build each other up. You know, iron sharpen iron. You see? You know, because you comfort the flock. Huh? Verse 16. He said to him again. Okay, Yahushua speaking to Peter. He said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, feed my sheep. Okay, verse 17. He said unto him the third time, Simon, all right, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, all right, lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, Yahushua, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahushua said unto him, feed my sheep. So he told him 3 times. Yahushua told Peter 3 times, feed my sheep. See, but why 3 times? Because 3 represents understanding. All right, why? Because it's very important that those of you that do have that that position, all right, you got a responsibility, all right, to learn this word and teach it, all right, because not everybody has that gift, you know, and that is man, you know, it's very heavy, you know, it's very heavy because the Lord chose you to feed His sheep. You know, there's no higher honor. See, you know. And you guys out there that are feeding the sheep, you know, you guys are doing an excellent job, a great job out there. You know, it's just that, it's just to point something out, you know, just, you know, sometimes, you know, you guys slow it down a little bit, because don't forget the young one. You know, don't forget, you know, the little one. You see? All right, let me get that precept real fast. Then we'll go back to Ezra. Let's see here. Here we go. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 18. Okay, wherefore comfort one another with these words. Alright, because these words is the comfort. Alright, because this is it's the truth. It's the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. It's not just, oh yeah, you know, he said this, and oh, she said that, you know, oh, look at him, he's so smart, you know. No, these are the Lord's words. All right, and there's you know, it's very important that you those of you that are able to, you know, push that word, you know, because if you're able-bodied and you know it, you know, push it, you know, because what do you want to stay here in the society, you know, where there's shit and piss on the floor, you know, nothing but, you know, just homeless out here. You know, this place is completely ran through. You know, it's completely through out here. You know, in these major cities. It's completely through out here, guys. You know? And what, you want to stay out here? Huh? You see? Alright? So that's something, you know, don't you want to get out of here? See? You know? And woe unto you 2/3 that you know, that are just comfortable here, you know, sitting and dwelling in this filth and are okay with it. Like, yeah, it's all good. As long as I get my check, I'm good. You know, woe unto thee, you know, because, I mean, man, it's pretty, you know, it's pretty damn bad out here, you know. You know, and you simpletons are just okay with, living in this situation like that, you know? I mean, man. But that's why the 2/3 gotta go. Because, you know, you guys don't mind living in this filth and this, you know, messed up society, you know, and, you know, you guys don't care that you're being rolled over by pedophiles, homosexuals. You know, you guys are okay with this out here, you know? Nothing but transformers walking around, Okay, you can't tell me that's not bugged out. You know? Come on, man. Huh? Alright. Okay, second Ezra, chapter 9, and verse 1 on down. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass which I have told thee before. Okay, so real fast. Okay, how are we measuring the times? By watching. Okay, you know, those of us that are able to teach, okay, we're on our watch. Okay, we're seeing what's going on out there. You know, the prophets are, you know, the watchers, you know, the seers, like Samuel, you know, because you're gifted, you know, with different, some of the prophets have different visions, you know, they have different spirits, you know, of the, from different portion from Yahweh Shemel Shai. Because some brothers are good, you know, with the stones. Some brothers are good with the history. Some brothers are good, like, you know, talking about war. Some brothers are good about, you know, going into, you know, with the chariots. So every brother has a gift, you know, from the Lord, his portion that the Lord gave him. You see? Huh? So this is, man, it's a very, and so this is how we measure the times. By what? By watching. Okay? By watching. This is how we measure the time. Okay? You don't measure the time by, alright, let me get a, you know, let me get a measuring, let me get a yardstick, or, you know, let me get a tape measure out. No. How do you measure the time? Because you're watching to see what's happening. And right now, Akim and Aqua, what are we seeing? Okay? We are seeing, World War III is right here. Okay? At the brink. You know, we're pretty much in the beginning stages. Okay? You know, that digital ID is coming to America. You know, it's already going out there, what, in the UK, right? Okay, which is going to bring in what? The RFID microchip, the MOTV. You know, November 1st, right? The SNAP benefits are going to, you know, fail, right? So we're going to see what's going on with that. That's going to bring anarchy, civil unrest, martial law. Okay, the more Jake acts up, you know, the more, the more, you know, Esau is gonna bring more troops, you know, because, but it's of the Lord, you know, because, you know, Esau is gonna cut off the benefits, right? Okay, but what else? All right, Jake's gonna act up, you know, and Jake's so retarded. All right, yeah, that's right. You know, you 2/3 are so retarded. You guys are incriminating yourselves. You guys are saying, "Oh yeah, if I don't have nothing, I'm gonna go steal." Yeah, go ahead and tell everybody. Well, you're gonna go steal, you retard. This is how simple you 2/3 are. You know, not only are you gonna go steal, but you're even telling people on the internet that you're gonna go do it. Yeah, go tell. You know, tell the world that you're gonna go steal, dumbass. See? And you telling me that Jake's not simple? You know? What's the matter with you, Jake? You know? What's the matter with you? You see? Huh? So this is why, but it's okay, because that's gonna bring, that's gonna, you know, make Esau bring in the robots, you know, the guillotines, you know? Oh, absolutely. Okay, absolutely. So this is something that, you know, is very, very heavy, you know, because all the signs are looking good, you know, where, you know, this thing is really being manifest, you know. It's, you know, those of us that, you know, care to get out of here, it's looking good for us, you know. I mean, we got to go through hell, but, you know, we're looking forward to these things, you know, because, but why is that? Because we want to get out of here, you know. You know, we wanna get to the kingdom. We wanna see the earth ruling in righteousness. You know? Oh, absolutely. You know, absolutely. You know, I mean, you guys, you know, out there, you guys like this shit. You know, excuse my Italian. You know, you guys like being under shutdowns and look at our people just getting hauled off. You know, yeah, you know, they're underneath. We're underneath the curses, and those are the 2/3 that are getting picked up by ICE and all that, thrown off airplanes. I mean, you telling me you guys like living in this shit? Let's hear it. You know, you guys going to work, getting tax after tax. Your boss treating you like shit. You know, sometimes there's no work. You know, and then when you guys do get work, they work you 12 hours till you're tired of shit. You know, excuse my Italian, but you know, come on, Jake, you want to stay in this? Come on, man. You see? You know? Huh? All right. Second Ezra chapter 9 verse 2. Then shalt thou understand. Oh yeah. All right, because now people are seeing it clear, like, oh shit, you know, because it's really going down. You know, people see the signs, you know, it's being manifest. That it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Two major signs. Okay, number one, the spaceships, the chariots of Israel. They're being shown all throughout the world. Yesterday at camp over here at the Los Angeles camp, all right, was beautiful. You know, we had a whole fleet of them. Okay, show up. All right, the angels were right there, just letting us know that, hey, we're not alone. So what does that mean? There's hope, Akima Aqua. You know, keep enduring. You know, hey, we're in the best possible position that we can be in. You know, the elect's got to be somebody. You know, come on. Number two. What's another main sign? Okay, the Lord is the children of Israel waking back up. Okay, the children of Israel are waking back up. Verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Are we not seeing that? Okay, are we not seeing that? Alright. See? Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Because it's all written down right here. See? This is why this word comforts the flock. Because, you know, to prophesy. Prophesy means, pro means before, cachet means to tell. Because we're telling the sheep what's going to happen before it happens. To prepare you. Get, you know, to get, you know, get you ready. Lord willing. Okay? Verse 5. For like as all is made in the world had a beginning and the end is manifest. Right. Because just like the Babylonians, the Persians and the Medes, the Greeks and the Romans, they all had their time to rule. They all had their time to go down. See? So this is what we're entering now, you know. Oh, the vision that Nebuchadnezzar had, you know, in the book of Daniel. Alright, that statue. Remember, the head was Babylon, the chest and arms were that was the Persian and Medes. That's why in the statue, you know, it has the two arms like crossed, because that's the, you know, you had the Persians and the Medes together. That's why the chest and the arms was silver. That was the Persians and the Medes. See? Alright, that's why you had the two arms like that crossed in the statue, because they were together at one point, the Persians and the Medes. See? Alright, then the thighs were brass. That was who? The Greeks, you know, with Alexander. And then you had the bottom part, you know, was the bottom part was the Romans. Okay? And then you have the toes, which is partly clay and partly iron, which is America. So why is it partly clay and partly iron? Because America is very strong. You see their military, you know? Shit, you see all their aircraft carriers, right? Right. Okay, but also look at America too as a whole. Are they together? No, even their own army is divided. There's division here. So they're partly strong and they're partly broken. That's why it's the 10 toes, okay? Because it's partly clay, but partly iron. So those two elements, they can't mix. Okay, those two elements can't mix. You see? Because you put clay and iron together, they don't jive. It's only a matter of time before it breaks apart. It don't stick together. You know, like epoxy. You know, like you guys ever been in construction? You had like epoxy. You know, you mix the gray one, the white one together, and then it sticks hard. Kind of like concrete. You mix the right concrete. It's gonna get hard. Just like that. Um, yeah, because those two elements don't stick together. That's why America is doomed. Doom means it's about to receive. Doom means judgment. All right, because those two elements can't stick together. See, so it's partly clay, partly iron. So those two elements can't, they don't jive. See? All right. Verse 6. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works. This is what we're seeing right now. It's a wonder. Because people in the world are like, damn, they just because the elect are walking miracles, because the Lord is getting the elect in order right before our enemies' eyes. See, we're returning back to our nationality, our heritage. We know that we're Israelites. We know that the Lord's name is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. See? Okay. Verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith. See? Whereby ye have believed. So works, Those of you that can teach the word, teach it. If you believe or you're a help. See, but you have to put on, You have to show the Lord, not just say, oh, hey, I love you, Lord. You know my heart, Lord. You know it's all good. Nah, you got to show the Lord. Okay, you ain't got to be all Superman, but you have to really show the Lord, okay? Shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land, and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning, because the elect were predestinated for salvation. All right, from the beginning. Verse 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways. So the wicked are going to be in a pitiful case. Getting ice picking them up, throwing them off airplanes. Is that not a pitiful case? You know what I'm saying? And they that have cast them away despitefully, shall dwell in torments. Because the scoffers and unbelievers, yeah, you're laughing now, but the Lord's gonna get every last one of you. And that's a dangerous game to play. I mean, come on, talking about Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Hey, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. Right, verse 11. They that have loathed my law while yet they had liberty, and yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not but despised it. So those that despise this word, check it out. Verse 12. The same must know it after death by pain. Right, because it's going to be very terrible out here. Very terrible. Those that are going to be starved out. Remember, there's going to be no safe haven. The Lord's just going to let our enemies have their way with you. So that's it on today's lesson on feeding the sheep. Feed the sheep. You guys out there, remember, just slow it down a little bit and feed them, but feed them right. Okay, because who wants a meal that's half cooked? Who wants some raw chicken? Don't worry, I'll wait. So give them a meal, but make sure it's properly cooked. But that's all, Aki. I'm Aqua for today. Stay stay alert. Stay wise, be on your watch, and pray. Pray for endurance, pray for strength. And just keep the faith and trust in the Lord. On your feet, soldier. Shalom.